Over the years, I've made a lot of viral videos. I even had one on TikTok where a single reel gained me over 1 million followers. And I've had some pretty big hitters on YouTube too. A video I did on whether or not you should try Whoop has paid me £18,462. A video I did on whether or not Prime is bullshit, £4,626. And I also made a video on whether or not AG1 is any good, £4,566. To make viral videos, you get paid well. And the reason you're probably wondering why Whoop pays so much more is Whoop is paying YouTube for the ads on that video. It makes you think, if Whoop are going to pay that much money for an ad, they're making way more money back from it. This is known as ROAS, return on ad spend. Some of you might be wondering why, over the last year, I have not made any viral videos. Well, it's because I fell into a trap that many creators fall into. Some people don't even know about it. And actually, some of you watching this are falling right into it right now, and I may just snap you out of it. Social media can actually be played in 2 different modes. And some people are even blissfully unaware of this, and especially if they're just copying other people, they can make the same mistake that I made for years. Some people's number one priority is views. And there are some creators that do well from this, like Mr. Beast. He quite literally needs the views, not only to get paid from his sponsors, but also to get paid by AdSense. With that money, he then reinvests into creating a new video. Now, here are some negatives of optimizing for views. It's incredibly stressful. If you're making a video and you put weeks, maybe even a month into it, and you get different editors and you pay lots of money and you have to go to extreme amounts of effort and the video bombs, you might not just not make money, you might lose money. You are the lowest paid in the ecosystem. You think the sponsor on your video is making the most money because they're making money from the ads. Google, well, is making a fuck ton of money anyway. Then you just get given a little bit of what's left. Hey, this was a profitable ecosystem. Here, creator. Have a few cents on the dollar. But the worst thing that you're going to get from this, something called a subprime audience. I was working with a creator who was trying to grow his email list. And he said, James, I'm thinking of maybe giving everyone a free mug if they join my email list. And I said, yeah, that sounds great, but there's one problem. You might then end up with an email list full of people that just wanted a free mug. You go to sell them something and they'll go, no thanks, mate, just needed a mug. I was growing my YouTube and I'll admit I fell into the trap of, I just wanted a big YouTube channel. But having a big YouTube channel with over 400,000 subscribers was like being a priest with a massive cock. If you're not going to do anything productive with it, is it really that great? Well, actually, yeah. We know priests find things to do with their cocks, and often little boys, allegedly. It was only when we released New Tonic that I promoted it on YouTube, people were kind of like, shut up and go make another viral video. I was optimized for views and getting that gold play button, and to be honest, I kind of just wanted to be treated like a YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers. Then you get invited on podcasts because they go, we'll get James on the podcast because he's got 1 million subscribers, his audience will see him in the thumbnail and they'll click. If you want to optimize for views, that's great. But I've done it, and there's a better way. I'm going to get into that now. You optimize the channel for clients. When I first got into social media, it wasn't for clout, fame, recognition. It was to get more clients. I was a personal trainer, I was in the gym, and I didn't really enjoy walking the floor. I'd walk up, hey mate, can I just give you a little tip on the shut the fuck up? Yeah, cool mate, you have a good day, buddy. And I thought if I just post helpful content on social media, then come the end of the day, someone might DM me and go, hey, what are your prices? Can I have a consultation? And even a crazy thing that I figured out over the last few months is that some of my lowest viewed videos produce me the most amount of revenue because I'm optimizing the video to convert the viewer into considering doing business with me, not making a video that is just there to get views and go viral. I can be more specific with the content. If you want to go viral with content, it has to appeal to everyone, to the masses. And there's something that I would call ROI content, return on investment. Over here, people are just getting entertainment from content, which is cool. But if at any point you bore them or you take too long or you're laboring the point, they fuck off. And here's a little trick for any of you getting into social media. Everyone hates you. No one likes you until they do. So if it's your first time appearing on someone's screen, and you say something that you think is cheeky, they're just going to go twat. But where I've started making content to try and get clients, I know that whatever I'm putting out is going to give them a return on investment. If you listen and go through all of my videos, come the end of it, your business and your sales process will perform better, which will make you more money. And at the end of the day, you might think I'm a legend, not because of who I am, but because of how I helped you. So many people are coming onto social media and they're being drawn into the world of just optimizing for views. But really the main reason we get on social media is to try and get more clients. When it comes to creating content, it is important that you work backwards. First thing you need is to know the problems that your clients face. And these need to be well understood. This is why if you want to go online in any business, you must have some face-to-face experience because you understand their problems. Even Declan here, my editor, he, through working with people, holding a camera and being involved in their process, will understand the problems. And the problems are important because we must flip them into hooks. And the hooks, the first 1 to 3 seconds. Tell me a problem that someone's faced that you've worked with, Declan. Not PT, think of videography. So your problem would be overexposed. And for any of you that don't know, that pretty much means that the footage that you have is too bright. So then we can start looking into that. As a form of hook, we go verbal. Does your content keep coming out looking like this? Visual. in that first bit of footage, we're going to overexpose it. Cool. So what we would do is maybe as part of the visual, we would get the camera, we'd put it in manual, we would then crank up the exposure so it was brightest. It would give that +3 reading on the bottom. So the verbal hook would be, does your content keep coming out looking like this? Then the second part of the hook, which could technically be a setup, we could say something like, here are 3 ways that you could correct it to make it look like this. Then we go another visual and it's perfect. Then we go into point 1, point 2, point 3, and then an outro. Now, just before we get into these points, something that I think is really cool to do, with your outro, don't say, and if you followed me, you would know that. Don't say, if you subscribe to my channel, it would make me happy. Just say something like, in short form content, I'll see you tomorrow. Because they'll go, no, you won't. I don't follow you. Oh, but if I followed you, maybe I would. You could even say something like, oh, guys, in the next video, we're going to cover off X. Can't wait to do it. Now, when explaining your points, I did actually learn this from Ed. He has something called the dangle. So what are 3 ways, Declan, we could fix someone's exposure? Lovely, love an ND filter. An ND filter is a pair of sunglasses for your camera. For any of you that don't know, lets less light in so we can lower the f-stop and get more of that blurry background. So the dangle is pretty much where we do point 1, we dangle point 3, and then we do point 2. So for instance, you'd go, it is really important that you get an ND filter for your camera, and not only is it going to make the picture look better, it's going to protect your lens. Now, just before I tell you why it's imperative that you film in shade, we need to look at the settings that you need to change in your camera. And what we're doing there is we're jumping a step to build their intrigue into what is to come so they have a reason to stay for stage 2. This type of content might not go viral because only a small subset niche of people care about exposure or even know what it is. However, you present this video, they go, good bloody gosh, that man knows a lot about videography. You get this in front of someone 5, 6, 7 times, they're starting to consider doing business with you. By the time they've watched an hour of your content, they're thinking, how do I give this person some money? Okay, now Declan, let's go from a personal training standpoint. What is a problem that some of your clients faced? Okay, so the problem is squat depth. So first hook, let's go for a question. Okay, so the hook, we're gonna go for a question hook. Why is it some people can squat to full depth whilst other people struggle to even break past parallel? I reckon we go for a visual, and it's going to have to be B-roll. And for any of you that don't know, B-roll is footage that you film and you overlay it over your A-roll. The A-roll is this right now. Technically, this is our B footage. Would you say this is B footage? So when people say B-roll, it means that you'd then go into the gym, you would film different things, you'd overlay it. Because then, whilst they're listening to the verbal hook, they get the visual of the exact thing you're talking about. We get to paint 2 things at the same time. Again, we could then say, we'll use the same structure. So we have that initial hook. Why is it that some people can squat to full depth while other people can't get past parallel? In this video, I'm going to allow you to squat deeper. And the best part is you can do it in a day. Got to go raise heels. What else would you say? Widen stance. What's it called when you sit in a squat? Let's just call it a squat hold. So again, we could go into number 1. If you raise your heels, you can artificially create mobility in the ankle. This will allow you to sit deeper. This allows your shin bone to lean forward more, which allows your femur to come lower, which allows, even though you wouldn't use those anatomical words. But just before we get into a stretch that can revolutionize your squat, let's quickly look into the stance of your feet. Again, we could try the dangle, go back, and then the outro again. If you enjoyed this video, you're gonna love my next one, whatever it is. However, at the same time, I'm gonna be a bit of a hypocrite. I've been giving people advice as to where some people do get a bit too guilty of trying to bundle too much information into one video. So for any of you out there that are struggling with content frequency, this is what I would recommend you do. You map out the piece of content exactly like we're doing here, but instead we are going to create this section here. Why is it that some people can squat all the way down and other people's, they can only reach parallel? That's a block hook visual that we can use at the beginning of the reel. Then for reel number 1, next time you're in the gym, try raising your heels and sitting into a squat. You'll find it a lot easier and you can get deeper. This is great because this is going to allow us to take the quadriceps through a longer range of motion. That's the reel done. Then next week, you use this exact same block again, you recycle it, but you go into the next video. Why is it that some people can squat all the way down, but other people only make it halfway? Well, did you know that widening your stance means that your femurs can be a bit wider, permitting a little gap for you to sit into? If your feet are too narrow, you quite literally do not have the hip angles and structure to provide enough space for you to sit into. So next time you visit the gym, try widening your foot stance. See you tomorrow. And again, you get the drift. We can then reuse that same packaging again, and again, go into the squat hold. Did you know there's a stretch that you could do, and if you'd only do it every day for 3 minutes, you could end up squatting deeper than a 7-year-old Asian girl before you know it. This stuff is great to plan out, is great to get good at. The second you can work backwards from people's problems, you are optimizing, not for views, but they will come, but to solve problems. Think of it this way. Me right now making these videos for you, I'm trying to knock off so many of your problems out of your life that eventually you just get to a point where you go, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Whatever you're selling, James, I'm in. There's links in the description, don't worry. Now, the next trap that people fall into is they think that content turns into clients. It does, but not yet. So just to reiterate, We create content that is optimized for clients, not for views. You can be famous, but you can be broke. Alternatively, you can have loads of clients and you can be rich. No one knows who you are. But then we must optimize content for one thing. What's that thing, Declan? Data. Come on, man. If you're ever going to leave me or negotiate a price rise on your salary, you're going to need this. So you're making this amazing content. You're working backwards from people's problems. The next thing you need to think about is how can you get their data? So at the end of that first piece of content, and if you want to make sure that your content is never exposed again, comment the word bright. And I will send you over a free guide that makes sure that your content is perfectly exposed for the rest of your life. That chatbot sounded good, didn't it? Then what was the other problem? Squat depth. If you comment the word squat, over the next 10 days, I'm going to be sending you 10 ways to improve your squats and some other variations of guarantee you've never done. And you can incorporate them into your program and not only reap the benefits, but the enjoyability of variation in your training program. So just comment the word squat and I'll send it over to you. And in return, you create content where people know that you can solve their problems. And here's the thing, if you post 100 pieces of content, you will start to see patterns into that to see what emerges on top. Wow, when I spoke about this, I got way more views than here. Cool, there must be more interest in there. I'm going to delve into it. I'm going to talk about f-stop, exposure, what's the other one? Frame rates, shutter speeds, audio. And then every single piece of content you put out can get you some form of data. Once you've got their emails, you can put them into some kind of sequence where you continue to solve problems. But this time, they're not having to go on Instagram and scroll through 100 videos before stumbling across one of yours and going, wow, that's an interesting thing I never thought of. They're going to get it sent daily by email or weekly as part of a newsletter. And they're going to go, wow, this guy Declan, I started watching his content. He solved so many problems that I had. So then I ended up commenting on one of his posts. I then joined his email newsletter every day. There's an email that comes through that's absolutely fire. And now one day comes through, one of your social media posts fucked up, or you went to do a squat session and hated it. Before you know it, you're on his landing page, and landing page, you get clients. I know it can seem like I repeat myself here, people. So imagine 1,000 views, you get 100 emails, 20 people visit your landing page, you get one new client. If you're a PT, one new client to you is worth thousands of pounds or dollars. So next time you're out there creating content, it is imperative that you do not optimize content to go viral or to get views. I did it for years, and it's all right, it pays the bills. But my God, when you turn up every day and solve problems that people are facing, they end up clicking the links in your descriptions and joining your course. And it pays way better. And it means that on days that I've not got video ideas that go viral, I can just sit in front of camera like I did today, riff for a bit, and know that at the end of it, I'll probably get 5 or 10 people join my program. Really is that simple. Oh, and by the way, if you enjoyed this video, you'll love this one that YouTube's put here. Highly recommend it.